Yes, 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 yes. This is Intercontinental Sport TV. Back again with another video. Today is a debate show. We've said every Friday we'll be let me check whether okay. I hope you guys can hear me. Today we've been saying every Friday we'll be having our debate shows, and today we are going to look at what we are going to talk about. Before my co-host will start coming in. Um, yes, 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 yes. I hope you hear me very well. Hello, yes. Okay. Today we'll be looking at what we are going to talk about today is who is Nigerian greatest captain. The Nigerian greatest captain. That's for the Super Eagles. That's this people set of people are the people we're going to talk about today. Yobo Joseph, um, Stephen KESHI, JJ Okocha, Christian CHUKWU, and also Vincent ENYEAMA. These are the five set of people we're going to be talking about. Before my co-hosts will be coming in, Ahmed will also be here, and Kunle, and Ehis, every other people. If you're watching this for the first time, wherever you are, please subscribe to the channel. We're just trying to build up a community where we're going to start talking about our present, the past players that have done very well in Africa, not only in Africa. I mean, that have done well in Nigeria, also in Africa. So with this an avenue, this is a community, we'll be talking about them, showcasing them. I mean, there's a lot we have to start doing right now. And on this channel, this is the community we are trying to build, as I've said. So please subscribe, smash the like on the button, and so on and so forth. So I'll be bringing in my co-host. Let me first of all see whether they can hear me. Hello, Ahmed?
Yes, hello.
Ahmed, can you hear me?
Good evening. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you loud
Yes,
and
I can.
clear.
I can.
Yeah, fantastic, fantastic.
It's good to be
Ahmed,
here again today.
yeah, I'm so glad to see you as well too. Today is, you know how we do it, debate. We have the greatest captain of all time in Nigeria. Let me put it that way. We have Yobo Joseph, Stephen Keshi, Okocha, Christian CHUKWU, and Vincent ENYEAMA. I'll be bringing in as well Kunle. Hey, Kunle.
Hey,
Hey,
how's it going?
is going to be happening. Can you hear me, Kunle?
Yes, I can.
Oh, fantastic.
And good
Ahmed
evening
is
to you,
here as
Ahmed.
well.
I greet you.
Good evening,
Ahmed
bro.
is Yeah,
Good
Good
Ahmed
evening.
is
evening.
here.
How's it going? Hold on.
Actually, I'm
Fine,
still
bro. Fine.
Mm.
yeah.
And up Liverpool, by the way. You tried. Let's start. Let's start with this.
That
Let's
was a
start.
massive. This is
Yeah,
Anfield, you know.
I was
One, one,
disappointed.
one.
I was
They don't
disappointed
start
in
it. They don't
Leicester.
start again. No. They don't start again. No.
I was disappointed in Leicester,
They don't
but
start again. No.
but we move. But we move on. We move. We move.
Oh, sure.
We move.
Now today we want to talk about this set of people. I think I'm still waiting on this guy Ace is supposed to be live right now. Look at this set of people, guys. Who is the Nigerian greatest captain? I have Yobo Joseph. I have Stephen Kechi. I have JJ Okocha, and also have Christian CHUKWU and Vincent ENYEAMA. Guys, this set of players, they've done so well for Nigeria. They've done so well for the continent. No doubt about that. They have done so fantastically. But there's one thing I want to ask you guys. The greatest captain that we can say, oh yes, this is the greatest captain of all time. Ahmed, who do you think among all
Hmm.
this will be a perfect
Hmm.
GOAT, greatest of all time, captain of the Super Eagles of Nigeria? Please take it off from there.
Yeah. Thank you very much for having me once again. And
You're
I'm
welcome.
delighted to talk about this because, we don't appreciate what our past heroes did. And, we now start taking a long time to talk about what the present guys are doing.
Hmm.
You will recall very well that these guys were home based players with little or no foreign experience. And they took on Africa, won the Nations Cup in 1980 against all odds. Fine, okay, we played on home turf, we played in Lagos. But then these guys had no experience whatsoever. They were all playing for the local team, apart from one person who was playing for a team in the US. Now, we now have Christian Chukwu, the chairman. Now,
Hmm.
for you to call somebody the chairman, even in our, local or recent way that we call ourselves chairman, if I call you chairman, then you're actually a chairman because you're a big bro. Because you're a big bro.
Hmm.
And to have that nickname back then, that tells you the kind of respect this guy command among the team and among Nigerians that time. He was the oldest among the team. He was 29 years old at that time.
You mean
And
Christian Shuku?
yeah, Christian Chukwu was the oldest among all of them. Then Kadiri
Wow.
Kana was 28.
Kadri Kana.
He was 20. Yeah, he was 29 and he was playing for Enugu Rangers at that time. Now, I will want to play do a kind of comparison now. The Gen Z think thinks that Davido and Whiskey are the
Hmm.
best Nigerian artists. But then you realize that apart from the rhyme and the beats, these guys are necessarily not really singing anything. Let us face the fact. Can they come in the year when Oyeka Wenu, Charlie Boy were singing, and you think these guys would have survived those times? They would not have. Even the recent time put them against Two Face when he was one that opened this international scene for all of them. When African Queen was perhaps, featured in one movie in Hollywood. Put them against Two Face that time. Do you think they would have survived? So now,
Hmm.
when you now put Joseph Yobo in the same space with Christian Chukwu, put the boss, Keshi in his team, all of them were practically playing abroad at that time. They have international exposure. They came, they won the Tunisia 94, and they went to the which other what did they even achieve after that? But then what I want to say is this: when you have a crop of local players who, you know, came together, local team, some of them were still even in the university. You will recall Shegun Adegbami was still at Yabatek when he played
Hmm.
at the Nations Cup. Yes, he
Yabatek.
was still at Yabatek.
I think. Oh,
Yes, he
sorry.
was at
Easy.
Yabatek.
Anthony is here. Is joining us. Um, on this debate. You're welcome, Hayes. Can you hear us? Hello, Hayes. I think his network is pretty down. So continue, Ahmed. Sorry about that. Sorry.
Okay, no problem. So thank you. Now you now look at it like, yes, if we can organize ourselves, and we even need to take forward here, when we start believing in the local players, when we start trusting them with responsibilities, you will be so shocked at the things they're going to achieve or they can achieve.
Wow.
When we put everybody, and at that time, many of them were playing for the first team of their clubs in the local league, well recognized. The local league was doing well. I recall very well. My dad used to take me to the stadium
Wow.
very well. The incident of Samuel Okwaraji, I was
Hmm.
at the stadium.
Really?
The incident,
Wow.
yes, I was at the stadium. Yes, there was one match in Gameplay with Sierra Leone. I can't recall. There was a stampede at National Stadium. My dad was there with his younger brother. So that was how fanatically we followed these people that time. Now, I will give you another example.
Wow.
Those old men of that time that were following the local league, the Shooting Stars, the Enugu Rangers, and the rest of them,
Abiola
tell
babes.
them about Abiola Babes, Iwanyawo National,
No.
Bende Insurance, and the rest of them. Tell them to compare any of those players at that time with our players now. And they will
Hmm.
tell you that, guy, you guys are not playing anything now, even with the technology. Now,
Hmm.
technology is the football, analysis in football, and everything. They tell you that don't move from this position to this position. You do this and do this. These guys at that time, they are playing with talent, raw talent.
And the
Shegun
pitch,
Adigba, me
pitch,
running the
pitch at that time
yes,
was not as good as you
thank
know.
you, as what it is now. Even the
Yeah,
football, the ball itself that they are playing. Look
playing
at the
now.
technology
Wow.
that has gone into it. That time, you have to wrap your leg very well before you can even kick. Yes. So you now see that at the end of the day, life
Hmm.
becomes so easy for the new guys. And we tend to now start comparing them with what those guys have achieved. We have auto tune in music now, and you don't hear their voice anymore. These guys back then were speaking with their real voice. There was content, and that is the same thing with football too. At that time, how much were they giving those guys to play? And you see the chairman leading in the
Hmm.
front,
Hmm.
and you see them went all the way against all odds to win 1980 Nations Cup.
Nations
So
Cup.
how do you put Stephen Keshi, who was already playing at that level? Yes, give it to Stephen Keshi. After rating Chukwu, the chairman, then
Yeah.
I'll pick Keshi, of course.
Of course.
Of
Hmm.
course, because
Hmm.
after him, it has to
Hmm.
be Keshi because he commands so much respect among the team, even among the coaching staff,
Yes.
the local, the officials as well. He has so much respect. We have case of Molise almost beating one minister. All such, those in discipline were not there. Yeah, yeah. I
Yeah.
remember the minister was Matu or so. Yes, he
Hmm.
almost beat the guy. But it never happened. That's the kind of indiscipline we even see now. It is at from the time of Stephen Keshi, because that was when Nigerian footballers started getting those exposure to international scene. All of them are now being engaged by international clubs and they were playing there. You know, before that time, the exposure was based on how you achieve at the local level, what you achieve at the local level, and that
Yes.
achievement is what even bring you to the national team. It is totally based on merit. Go and check all of them that joined the national team at that time. It was based on merit. For you to now be called into the national team from the local league at that time, to be made the captain of that team at that time,
Absolutely.
then what you have in quality, it cannot take. See, the best of, I'm sorry to use this word, the best of, in all sphere of our lives, the best of the people we have, fine technology and the new development in terms of
Yes.
what the young people are doing with technology now. We are
Hmm.
still being ruled by those people at that time.
Hmm.
We are still being ruled. Fine, we can say that they are not doing well, but you can be sure that in some areas they still command so much respect internationally. That is what chairman did for us.
Chairman.
He
Yeah.
fell ill sometimes, but they knew the joy these people brought to them. Femi Otedola foot the medical bill from every single thing, and it actually has to come from the place of
Hmm.
this guy. When in my youthful age, he brought so much joy to me, and I'm in a position to help him now. Then I'm going to do that. Now, God forbid anything happen to one of these boys we have now. Those people, they don't even, how much do we really care about them? How much do we even watch them?
Hmm.
Fine, the Stephen catching time commands so much respect. Okocha time, I don't know. After Okocha, we have Victor Enyema. I was
Yama.
like, come on, you know. Yeah, so if we are going to grade, let's grade from the chairman, then we can have Kechi, then maybe we can have Olise. In fact, I even will rate Olise ahead of Okocha and
Olise?
then Yama.
Really?
Yes, yes. Olise, see, Olise team was the one that went to
Olise?
USA
In fact,
94.
Ace
Yes.
is standing by. He wants to say no hell no way.
Olise, yes. I will I will rate Olise ahead of
Kule, what are you
Yamalo.
doing?
I
Lie,
will.
lie.
Huh?
Kule, you want to take it off
Yeah,
from there? Thank you, Ahmed. Anyway, Kule, before he is
yeah.
going to come in, I know you want to banter Ahmed, but let's get this fact straight. We are just talking about the greatest captain, the greatest, I mean, the best captain Nigerian Super Eagles has ever produced. Or can I put it that way? Now, Ahmed is saying, let's give it to these guys. I mean, Stephen Keshi and Chukwu.
Mm-hmm.
They are the best. Do you agree
Yes.
with this, Kunle Faiga? Please take it off from there.
Um. Firstly, no disrespect to Stephen Keshi and Christian Chukwu. They are definitely senior men. I mean, they are senior men in their own right. I mean, I have seen,
Hey,
I,
calm down.
I,
Hey, calm
I
down.
have seen,
You're boiling.
I have seen, I've seen Christian Chukwu a few. I've seen Christian Chukwu a few times. You know, he's been involved with the management of Enugu Rangers of late. So I've seen him a few times. I even had opportunity of probably wanting to talk to him one time, but I couldn't. So they are all
Okay.
fine players. They are all fine players, fine captains, and I think Sir Ahmed actually made some very very nice points about Christian. No, he did. He actually did make some very good points about Christian Chukwu against as against someone like Keshi.
Keshi.
He did, and where he did that was on that area of discipline, and the fact that he said something about Chukwu that time 1980, it was home-based players and all. But I do want to point out something though that I think that time in 1980,
Mm.
African players were largely. I think there were not much Africans playing outside of the continent at that time. So I would want to believe that that 1980 period
Yeah.
we had a very good team. I wouldn't want to say they were experienced per se because I mean this was a Chuku that was playing for an Enugu Rangers side. If
Yes.
I remember correctly, were very dominant in the 1970s in Nigeria. So they were playing for very good teams at that point. So I wouldn't want to say they were inexperienced. I would say they were even probably maybe one of the best on the continent as far as you know players based in the country are concerned. But away from that, though, my own pick, and I know it will raise eyebrows. You know me, I'm always for. I think I'm always happy being the odd one out. Yes, I know. Yes, I might not make a strong case, and people might not be listening to me, but I still stand by what I choose. For
And
me,
what
I
is
know
that?
you will say it is odd. Yeah, my own pick for the greatest captain. I know you will say it is odd, though, but
Show
I,
us.
I will say it with my full chest, anywhere, any day. My own greatest captain is Vincent Enyama. Yes, you will look at me. I know you will raise eyebrows. Yes, yes, you will
Yeah.
raise eyebrows, and
Vincent Enyama.
I would say exactly why because Sir Ahmed actually did touch on some points, which is one of the reasons why I am actually picking Vincent Enyama. You see, from the moment Vincent Enyama made his debut for Nigeria, there was just something that was just extraordinary about him. He was
Can I
very
buttress?
command. He was yes.
Eyama was a deputy captain to Yobo.
Yes, I know, I know, I know. But at least he did, yeah, but he did have some moments where he did wear the captain's armband. Yes, I do know. And why I am picking him is because throughout his time, at least the period when he played,
Mm-hmm.
Inyama was like he was more or less the leader on the pitch. Yes, there was Yobo with the captain's armband. Maybe there was Okocha. I don't know who was the captain before Yobo. Was it I can't remember who the
Okocha.
captain was. Was it Okocha? Yes, there was. But like Sir Ahmed had mentioned, there was problem of discipline with these players, and he made mention of people like Olise, even Keshi, you know, Okocha. These players, they all had discipline issues. I mean, these are players who sometimes would not want to honor call-ups. They would want to brag and all. But you never saw that in Enyama. And
Hmm.
when on the pitch, this
Hmm.
was someone who was always giving his 100%. Even when the Super Eagles were at their worst, where the defense were at their sixes and sevens, Enyama was always the last line of action to
Absolutely.
save us. And you could see how he was, and you could always see how Enyama would always demonstrate how he would, try to um how he would always be very vocal of his backline or the entire team. You see him, he might not be wearing the captain's armband at that point, yes, but you could see that he was the most vocal he was actually the most vocal player on the team at that point, and it has to be given. And I think that credit has to be given to him for it, because and let's not forget that Enyama wasn't one of the players who he played for the big clubs like the way we had Okocha playing in England. Yobo was in Everton, who was a star player. We had Enyama playing in Israel. Who watches the Israeli league?
Hmm.
Nobody. Nobody does. And let's not forget that when Enyama started, he was playing for a Yimba. And he was from here. I mean, I think he moved to Israel in 2005. And
2005. Yeah.
yeah, and I think once Shoromu retired in, was it not 2003, he became the number one there. So
He made
Enyama
his
was already
debut. He was in goal against England in
England,
2002
yeah.
World Cup.
But I think Shoromu still had some few games after that moment, or was it after 2002 he retired? I can't I can't really recollect now. I know, yes, he deputized because Shoromu wasn't available, but I think Shoromu still had some few games after that. But once
Hmm.
Shoromu was out of the scene, it was Eyama all the way, and you could see that he he went in immediately. There was just this commanding presence about him. He was just everything of calm, cool. He doesn't get into fight with managers or this. The only one we towards the ending there were where there was a bit of misunderstanding with him and Olise, and I think it was Olise because we know Olise. Olise is sorry to say, Olise is a troublemaker. I mean, even while he was Super Eagles coach, even while he was Super Eagles coach, he was fighting the NFF, he was fighting players, that's Ulises' nature, but and it was kind of bad. And for you to know how good this guy was, even when Iyama said he's not coming back to the national team, you could see how fans wanted him. You could see how people wanted him back. Like that 2018 World Cup, there was a campaign to bring him back. We were like, how can we go to the World Cup with Uzoho and Ezenwa?
Yeah.
That's like calamity or something. Like, no, we need a Yama back, and there was this pressure. There was this pressure campaign to bring a Yama, but Yama had made up his mind that he is not coming back to the team, and I mean that goes to show you how influential he is. And let us not forget that in all this, Yama is the joint most capped player in Nigeria's history, 101 caps.
101.
Yes, ironically with with Yobo, was, you know, who
Hmm.
Enyama was his deputy. But if you really want to match Enyama and Yobo together, I mean, if you want to see who was really more of a captain material between those two, come on. I mean, Enyama showed much more leadership than Yobo. No disrespect to Yobo either, but Enyama was just everything of a leader on the pitch. And his longevity with the number of caps he was able to go, and the fact that, let's not forget that he was also our uh he was very instrumental in a period where Nigeria was not stable, in terms of like that period when we didn't go to the 2006 World Cup, then where we weren't even probably doing well in the World in Cup of Nations, where we couldn't reach the finals and
Yeah.
all of that. And ENYEAMA was a stable name and a stable face all throughout this period. If you look to other players, we will say that we were having players in and out. From the likes of them Taye Taiwos to the who can I try to point out now? Yeah, the Obafemi Martins and all. But ENYEAMA super. I mean, some of these players started before ENYEAMA, but I mean, he 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 outstayed them, and I mean, yeah, he did, and that says a lot. That really says a lot.
He's is boiling. I know. He's
Nah,
is
nah, nah.
boiling.
No, just listen.
Well,
I was just listening.
he's look at what we have here. We have the greatest captain of all time. I want to say of all time in Nigeria, Super Eagles. I may have mentioned Christian CHUKWU and Stephen KESHI as I mean, no doubt about it. So Kunle too is also arguing that no, it can't be them. It should be Vincent ENYEAMA. I mean, doing all this beats for the country. I mean, so I know you want to come up with something else that never these people can never be sure. I mean, so where do you want to go from here? Ace, take it up.
Yeah, first off, apologies for coming in late into the
Yeah,
stream. And
it's okay,
I
boss.
heard what Chief Ahmed
Mm.
said, and also Chief Kunle, my comrade, on this
Comrade.
debate. Yeah, with all due respect to who they've chosen,
Yeah,
it's because everybody's opinionated in
yeah,
terms of who tends to be the greatest Super Eagles captain.
captain.
But
Yes.
first off, I would like to state some facts just to back up my opinion.
Wow.
I never watched Christian Chukwu live, and I never watched Stephen Keshi
Stephen Keshi.
live. I think I started watching football Tunisia '94. I was when I started watching football with my dad, and I was able to watch the Super Eagles then when we won the Nations Cup. And there was
Fantastic.
something that we could observe in that squad. Stephen Keshi didn't really play
Yeah, I think he had
any
injury or
part.
something.
Yes, he was injured even prior to. I don't know if my stat serves me right. Prior to the competition, he wasn't really fit, but because he was the captain, he had to be selected by Clemens Westerhoff. And Clemens Westerhoff brought a few names. Clemens Westerhoff did a kind of he strategized in infusing some of the local lads into the team when we saw players that came from the Nigerian league joining the Super Eagles. And that squad, the role of Stephen Keshi, I know he's late right now, the
Yeah.
role of Stephen Keshi was not missed. And prior to that time, the only time the Super Eagles had won the Nations Cup was in 1980 by the
Yes.
mathematical Shegun Odegbami, as
Odegbami.
history will serve it. So ever since
Mhm.
then, Nigeria had always struggled. Senegal 92, I love history in football. Senegal 92, we got to the semi-final, we crashed out, and we qualified to the third place final where we won Cameroon.
Yeah.
And also 1990, Algiers 90, the same thing. We lost in the final actually against Algiers, Rabamaja,
Rabamaja. Yes. Yes.
if my stat serves me right as well. So this has been a sequence in terms of getting to the final, getting to the third place final, and we lost. So Stephen Keshi, at that time, he was part of the Nigerian team at that
Team.
time. So
Ooh,
his
yeah.
influence couldn't really win us the Nations Cup.
The
Fast
Nations Cup.
forward 1994, from the
Mhm.
first game against Gabon to the second game against Zaire, no,
Yeah.
against Egypt, to the quarterfinal against Zaire, to the semi Zaire now DR Congo, to the semi-final against Cote d'Ivoire, and the final against Zambia. Stephen Keshi didn't play a minute. I don't know if he played the first match Gabon, but I'm not sure he played a minute. I stand to be corrected, but I'm not sure he
Okay.
played any minutes in that competition. And the lads were able to go on to win the trophy.
The trophy.
And that was the end of Stephen Keshi and the Super Eagles. Fast forward, Yobo, 2013, the same fate beheld him when Stephen KESHI took us to the Nations Cup and we won the Nations Cup. But at that time, Yobo being the captain had injury issues. The same thing Clemens Gustav did in 94 was what Stephen KESHI did, integrated some of the home base into the squad and were able to carry out what needed to be done, where we won Cote d'Ivoire in the quarterfinal, moving on to win Burkina Faso in the final. Yobo didn't play a part, though he was a captain, and Nigeria won the Nations Cup. So where am I driving at? We could say greatness. Greatness has to do with winning trophies, right? I don't know if you guys agree with me.
I disagree with that.
Okay, no problem. But we know in football, title they say is our host has gone out. Title they say is the currency of football. But
Absolutely.
the point I'm trying to make here is, yes, these guys in their time they were great, no doubt. They were great in terms of being the captain of the Super Eagles, but there was something that we didn't really see them do in terms of being victorious with the Super Eagles team. It's so funny that the little we can count off for the Super Eagles in terms of trophies we've won is the Nations Cup in 94, Nations Cup in 2013, the Afro Asian Cup in 1995 that Azerbaijan hosted, the Olympics,
Mhm.
the Olympics, and that's all we could say concerning Nigerian
Ex-
football.
Exactly. And you see, because we've had limited success, I
Mm.
feel it is difficult for you to just pin it down to people who played in those tournaments, because there wasn't really much sustained success, because it was just one, two tournaments, and that was it. So we have to look at, I believe we have to look at it on the much broader scope, which was their international careers. Because apart from the major tournaments that they played in, because don't forget that even the ones that they did not win
Mm-hmm.
or that they didn't perform very well, there were still some standards. Like now, take for instance, now Nigeria did not really have a very good outing at the 2010 World Cup, right? But
Yeah, it was shambolic.
but
Yeah,
but you cannot rule out what Vincent ENYEAMA did against Argentina, for instance. You understand?
but we still
It's
got bit. We still
Yeah,
got
we
bit.
still no. You see, no. Look, you see, that's the thing. It doesn't have to be. You see, that's why I said football is beyond. It's not until it doesn't necessarily have to be the winning moment. I understand that yes, it's about winning and all, but we come from a place where it's not like we were really dominant as we've established. I mean,
Sorry to digress. Why was Ole
Nigeria is not.
sacked? Why was Ole sacked?
Why was Ole sacked?
You're
Yes,
talking
obviously
only
it was because of the result. Yeah, I
So
understand
you're
it.
looking for
No,
trouble.
come on.
The thing is, you are looking
wait,
for trouble.
but then, no, you see,
Nah,
Seriously,
I
you are
was
looking
just
for
trying to.
trouble.
no, it's
I
not
was
like
just trying
looking
to
for trouble.
buttress a
No,
point.
that context you are coming in, that context you are coming in is a little different, because we're talking about Manchester United, the most
Yes.
successful team in England. So obviously, there is
I
that kind of
disagree with that. Not the most successful team in England.
Liverpool
No, no,
is.
no, Ahmed, you are looking for trouble.
how is
Liverpool is,
Ahmed,
yes.
How is
Liverpool
Liverpool?
is.
I don't.
ah,
From
Liverpool
where?
is.
Where did you become a supporter?
How
Let's
many
just don't
Champions League do
let's
you
don't
have?
segue.
So,
Let's don't
anyways,
let's don't
yeah, but
digress.
okay, but you get the point. Like there is, regardless, Manchester United is hugely successful. So that kind of pressure will tell. But in the case of Nigeria, yes, we were meant to be favorites going into these tournaments, because we had like the best players on the continent of Africa and all. But we ended up not really doing well most times. But you can't still take away the fact, like now, take for instance now, Yekini's moment that
mhm.
most people always celebrate is the okay. Take away. I think it's that 1994 Cup of Nations, because I think that was really his moment, because he was top goal scorer, and I think he was also top goal scorer in the qualifiers. In
I
the
think it was
World
top
Cup
goal
that we
scorer in '92 as well. Senegal '92. It was top goal scorer.
Okay.
Yep.
I'm
Yeah,
not really.
yes.
Yeah, I
Okay,
think yeah,
he was. Okay,
absolutely.
he was. But what was Nigeria's what was Nigeria's performance in this way? Did we go on to win? No. But you look at it that over Yekini's career, he was able to score 37 goals in 58 matches. That is an average of 0. I can't remember what that average was again, which goes to tell you that even though there wasn't much success per se, apart from that 94 moment, Yekini was actually good. So I think we shouldn't, let's not limit it to those. Yes, like you rightly said now, Keshi, fine. Keshi did not play a huge part in
The
94,
'94
in 94.
competition. Yeah.
Yes, but what of those other periods of the 90s and the eight, or even in the 80s, or in the other tournaments, the qualifiers
That
that
that's
was
what
that
that's
was
what I
leading to the
mentioned. That
World Cup.
that
I
was what
feel
I
we can't
mentioned.
put it out of isolation because
Yeah, but that was
we
what I
had
meant.
great matches, because we had
Yes,
great
that was what
matches within her.
that was what I mentioned while I started with my with my trying to give my opinion that during
Yeah.
those years, Nigeria, the Nigerian team, though we boasted of the best squad in Africa, but we were not winning.
Hmm.
And that winning
That's where
has
you
to do
call
with,
okay.
yeah, winning it has to do with the squad you have. Even would we say, or we could argue that while Keshi was playing in Europe, the team he was playing at Europe too weren't that successful.
Hmm.
Absolutely.
So you see where I'm coming from. That though we had the best squad in the continent, but we still had issues winning, which was Algiers '90, we lost in the final. Senegal '92, we lost in the semi-final. Clement Sostov did a good job in '94, and while he did that, the influence of Keshi, we didn't see it on the pitch, though
Yes.
we could have seen it, or it could have happened in the background, where as the team leader you rally your squad, motivate the team, push them out there. Possibly that could have happened. We were not there. But why am I saying all this is during this era, we didn't boast of any success after 94. Like I said, 95 was the next big thing. The Afro Asian Cup, hosted by Azerbaijan, that we won. The Gold Cup that Mexico hosted, we lost. We didn't even get to the final. So as at that time, Clement had his job done. So 1996, we couldn't make it to the Nations Cup for whatever reason, political reason. We still don't know up till now. 1998 in Burkina Faso, we didn't make it to the Nations Cup as well. So we got back to the Nations Cup in 2000. And that was where I remember there was a building block from 1996 where most of the guys that culminated or that made the Super Eagles were in that squad, the dream team. And they moved to the Super Eagles in 2000. And that was where we saw the influence of Austin JJ Okocha. And that is who I am picking as the greatest
Hmm.
captain of all time.
Bro.
Reason I'm picking that is we could see what JJ does on the pitch, the influence. And we saw what happened at the African Nations Cup in 2000 that we hosted in Lagos. We lost that final based on a marginal line. We all knew that was when we lost, and also penalty taken by Kanu Nwankwo, which we lost. Penalty is anybody's game. Moving to 2002, Mali 2002, where a nucleus of the Super Eagles were being ousted. Olise, Agali, and the likes, Aigbeni, due to breaking rules and regulation. That was what rocked our boat in that competition. Otherwise, we could have won that competition. 2000, we got to the semi-final, we lost. Same wahala, we got to third place. 2004, JJ as well. We saw the magic he did against Cameroon. The free kick alone was what gave us hope. Otherwise,
Yeah.
that match was we had lost that match even before we went into that game. The Cameroonians, because based on our history we've had with Cameroon, we had lost that match even before going onto that pitch. But we saw the influence JJ carried out. And at that time, he was the hottest property in Africa. He just
Hmm.
won the BBC BBC African Footballer of the Year. Though we all knew that imaginary lost to Eto in the African Footballer of the Year organized
Yeah,
by CAF,
almost.
we all
Yeah.
knew that it was Okocha's award. But we saw the influence. Even in Europe, we were seeing JJ Okocha. We watch him week in, week out, even while he was in PSG. Even if we're not watching him live, we saw the influence he had in the PSG. As at that time, he was the African most costliest player in the history when he signed from Fenerbahce to PSG. And we saw the move to the EPL, and we knew how JJ took the EPL by storm. The rest is history with that. And also the influence, especially that 2004 Nations Cup. We lost marginally also, penalty shootout to Tunisia, when we lost to Tunisia in semi-final, the host. And in 2006, because of age, injury, we saw that 2006 was not a very good competition for us, which we lost out to Cote d'Ivoire in the semi-final as well. So for me, let me just sit back. I've been able to prove my point to say JJ Okocha undoubtedly is the greatest Nigerian captain. And I'm here to argue with anybody because it's a debate.
Ace,
Yeah.
before you sit back,
Ahmed is coming in.
Ace, you made you made a statement that
Yeah.
trophies is the currency of football, and
Yeah.
if we had a captain who did not lift any trophy for the national team, how
He
influential can
lifted
you
he
say
lifted the Nations Cup
this
in
captain is?
94. He lifted the Nations Cup in 94.
94,
He won,
yes.
yes. He won the Olympics. He was part of the Olympic
Yeah,
squad. He was instrumental. He was very,
no,
very
no.
instrumental in that squad.
Uh,
He was,
that is
whether we want
his
to take
part
it
in
or
the
not,
Olympics is not his. Yeah, he's so marginal. His
it's
part in the Olympics was so
no, no,
marginal.
no. It
But what I
wasn't
want to
marginal.
point
We
out is
saw
this: the influence.
mm,
Who the most influential player in that Olympic Games was Kanu, Amunike,
Amunike
Amokachi.
was even
But I don't think
Amunike was coming in as
Oko-
Amunike was coming in as a
yes, he
substitute.
was. But yes, as a super sub, super sub, he won the cup. He scored the last goal against Argentina.
Yeah.
Okocha didn't even score. Did he score any goal in that tournament?
He scored
So what
against
I'm saying
Not
is
Mexico.
Okocha was
He scored against
okay. He did,
Mexico.
yeah,
I think he scored against Japan as
yeah.
well.
You see, good.
He scored in the group stage. Yeah.
Okay, we would do away with. We could have done away with Okocha in that team, and that team would have gone on to win because his contribution to that team very significant. But it wasn't what gave us
Nah.
the Olympic
He,
gold.
he was so he was
The influence of Okocha in the national team.
Mm.
See, I
yeah.
love Okocha. I still remember I played the free kick against Cameroon in Lagos before the second half. Just before they blow the second half, they scored
Mm-hmm.
a free kick to equalize against Cameroon. That
No, it
I
wasn't a free
play it
kick.
in
It
my
was
head
it was
every
it was
single
it
day.
was it was a belter. I don't think it was a free kick. It was just a belter. He had the ball and boom, he hit it from outside the box. It's in.
Mhm.
Was it?
Yeah.
Was it? There
Yeah, that was it.
there was a free kick he scored before the final whistle, right? Before the first half, they were leading
That was in
1-1.
2004. That was in
That,
2004.
that was in
That was in
2004.
2004.
Okay,
Yes.
good. Okocha,
Tunisia 2004.
yes, Okocha's influence in his team, his clubs were top notch. We see what he did with Bolton. We can't say the same thing with Okocha with our national team. Till today, Okocha is a club cult, in Bolton. He's a legend in Bolton. Is Okocha a legend as against Christian Chukwu, against KESHI, even as against Kanu is not even was a captain at a point. Some points Kanu was coming in as captain of the team. He was not even as a legend compared to Kanu. So if we now say that the influence needs to be about if you win trophy, I agree with you. You have to carry your
Mm,
team to be able to win trophies. If you don't do that, then forget it. No matter how much influential you think your reign is, you have to win trophies. And then the second part is that for every team, we see it happening every day. The reason why Aubameyang is being relegated in his team is because of indiscipline. If
Mm.
at every time you have your team being indisciplined at any time, then it's a failure on the coaching crew, and the bigger responsibility is on the shoulder of the captain of the team.
JJ was
And
never
we see what
JJ
every
was
other every
never
you see what Henderson
J,
does
J,
with
JJ
Liverpool.
was
We
never
see what,
JJ was never part of JJ was never part of the indisciplined
Huh?
persons or people.
Huh?
He was never.
Huh?
He was
Huh?
never.
yeah.
He was
Huh?
never.
You
Huh?
know how many times
I
JJ
would
refused to
even
join the
say
national
JJ
team
was the
In
and
two
ringleader.
thousand,
declined invitation.
JJ was the ringleader. He
no,
was the ringleader of the indisciplined gang.
in
You see
2002
that
we saw the guys
2006. You see that
in
2006 that
2002.
you made.
In
No. JJ
2002,
did
if
too well.
if he was part of the
Mm,
indisciplined guys, he would have been
yeah.
sent home because we all knew the guys that were sent home: Ayegbeni,
No.
Olise, Agali. Was it Agali? Yeah, Agali, and I think there were 3 or 4. So if he was part of the indisciplined guys, indisciplined team or people, he would have been sent home. The part you talked about, he not wanting to come for qualifiers and all that. See, this thing happens. Even right now, if Liverpool had it, they would not let Salah and Mane go for this Nations Cup.
Don't
No,
We
mind
it's
just
a
them.
heard in the
different.
news
No,
today.
Don't mind
We
those
just heard.
Liverpool
it's
people.
a
We
different.
just
No,
heard.
it's a different thing.
We just heard in the news. We just heard in the
Mm,
news today. Louis Zaha of Crystal Palace
mm.
has been drafted into the Ivorian squad, despite him not playing the last 2 qualifiers for Ivory Coast.
Because
So this thing happens. If players
no,
turn down qualification, not wanting to go, this thing happens. And
no.
I just want to put one fun fact. Remember the World Cup qualifier where Zimbabwe was in our group, qualifiers towards 2002 World Cup. Then when we were going to Harare to play the second leg, did you know because of JJ's presence in that Nigerian team? Did you know that the stadium was sold out because they knew JJ Okocha was coming? That was the influence JJ carried when he was still playing active football. Point also, when we went to Kano to play Angola, we saw what happened. The stadium was full to capacity. That
Capacity.
to the extent that
Heavy.
yes, that to the
Yes.
This
extent that
is because
people
of his personal. This is personal. This is
that is
individual
what I'm saying. So
side.
that's
Just the
part of
same way.
that's part of
But that does
that
not
that's
show
part of the
that does not translate to
would
his impact
would
in
Yobo
the
would
team. How
Yobo
see
would
what is the
Yobo
role of a captain
would
in the
Yobo
team?
have filled the team? Would Yobo have filled the stadium if they had Yobo was in the team sheet?
Of course, he's a defender now.
Yobo
He
wouldn't
doesn't
have.
dribble. He has no
So what
skill.
I was
Just
saying,
head and clear.
No,
Christian Chukwu in his heyday, with all due respect to him, I know he's dead. May his soul rest in peace. Christian Chukwu in his heyday, would Christian Chukwu have filled a stadium to full capacity?
I think it's only
Yes,
Shegun
yes.
Odegbami
At
that
that
could have.
time, at that time,
So
Mathematical Shegun
yes, it
Odegbami
would.
will have.
See, if you know the followership that time, man. The fact that do you know what it is in Enugu at that time? Enugu
Wow.
till now, Enyimba Stadium is filled to the brim. Till now, as bad as our local league is, that time you don't even get seats at the stadium. If you they get people stayed in the stadium 4 5 hours 6 hours. There was a tournament, there was a game Nigeria was to play. People slept in the stadium. Usually match start by 4 p.m. People slept in the stadium because if you don't, you won't even have a seat.
but
So that
JJ
tells
was
you that at
Wow.
that time, the followership
Austin.
at that time was
Mm.
Yeah,
not. Come on.
Let me okay.
Austin
Okay.
Okocha was so good that they named him twice. JJ. That's how influential he was.
That was
Hey,
how
stop
skillful he
it.
was. Skillful.
Oh my God.
Um.
That was how
Let,
skillful.
let
He was
no.
because he
Let me
was
put
very
it.
skillful.
You
Kunle,
know.
what's
So
Let
your
me
that
take?
put it. Let me put it this way though. I'm not disputing. I mean, like you rightly said, JJ was very talented. Yeah, but that doesn't necessarily translate to the fact that he was a leader on the pitch. And this is where I am going. I am sorry, you can feel free to disagree with me on this,
Mhm.
but I I have a disagreement with the fact that these two guys are captains of their national teams.
Okay.
What's it called? these um, Messi and Ronaldo. Yes, I know you can say it's contentious, right? That
Mhm.
that because oh my god, they are the ones who carried it because they will score the bulk of the goals. But you see, when it comes to that leadership role that is actually being played on the pitch, I'm sorry, I don't think I see Messi and Ronaldo actually do it. So I always question.
I agree with you. I
Left
agree
to
with
me,
you 100
someone like
percent.
Pepe. Pepe is a captain for Portugal more than you understand. So where JJ is his talent, and that's what would make him popular. But we're talking about that influence on the pitch, and that was why I was making mention to ENYEAMA, because I said even when the Super Eagles were on their worst day,
Mhm.
when they were terrible, where they were at sixes and sevens, we're talking about that person whose motivation is still going to be up to push the team that, oh, okay, we're actually losing, oh, but you guys don't lose it up. And that's where we're actually talking about this captain. It's more about on the pitch. If it were off the pitch, no, come on. I mean, I think if we want to talk about influence off the pitch, I mean, I think JJ is even still more relevant. I mean, even till today, you can see how he is very relevant with adverts and all of that. We don't really see the likes of ENYEAMA and all of that having endorsement deals and all, but you see JJ, people want to actually endorse JJ in different. So JJ is everywhere, which is cool because it tells you that he's a big brand. But we're talking about on the pitch, that influence, that So that is where me I feel that JJ and now the 2004 you mentioned, I'm not talking about it. I am talking about that 2005-6 period. Where we didn't get to qualify for the World Cup. JJ Okocha messed up. We needed him at that point during. You remember we didn't. Angola beat us to the qualifiers. I can categorically say that JJ was one of the reasons why we didn't
No,
qualify for that.
I'll blame that on. I'll blame that
No, the players too,
on. No, no, no,
no,
no.
but we
So,
needed we needed
sorry
a
that I'm
we needed a bit of inspiration from him, ironically,
sorry that I'm cutting
because of that,
into.
you understand.
Yeah, sorry that I'm
But he
bottling in.
but his behavior and all of that, where
No,
he didn't want to
that
honor invitations and all, it kind of cost us
we
because
not
we were.
qualifying. We not qualifying for 2006 World
Mhm.
Cup lies solely in the hands of NFA, now NFF,
I I
Nigerian Football
understand.
Association,
I
because due to
understand. They are
politics
more
and due to
no.
a whole
They are
lot of
more.
shenanigans
They
happen
are
behind
they
the
are
scene.
no. There are
Why
multiple
would you take
factors.
why would you
You
take why would you take a penultimate match that
know.
would determine our fate in qualifying from that group?
I
Why would you take it to
understand.
Kano? Why
I
would you take it to Kano?
understand.
There are
I
stadiums in
understand.
Lagos, there are stadiums in Abuja, there are stadiums in Port Harcourt, in Calabar,
Mhm.
where you should have taken that match to, but you took it to
I
Kano. And
understand.
did you see the state of the pitch that day
Yes,
we
I
played that
agree.
match? So don't solely put this on
I
JJ Okocha.
agree. For at
And also, I want
least,
to
for
mention
at
something.
least.
I want to mention something.
Mm-hmm.
Did you know what it takes for you to be a club captain of an EPL team?
I,
It takes a lot. It
yeah,
takes it takes a lot. Did you know JJ Okocha was the captain of Bolton when he joined?
I know.
A year, it's like 6 months after. So it takes a lot. I understand this whole
Um,
leadership thing,
was it
and we should
immediately
know that.
where was Jaskelainen?
No, JJ
Jaskelainen
was captain. JJ was captain.
and
JJ was cap.
and I think I
He was
remember
captain.
Campos, Oliver Campos too. I think
Campos.
I
Yeah,
Yes, I remember
yeah.
Campos also wearing the captain's armband as well.
No, I think
I
Campos
But
I know
JJ,
got
JJ.
injured
Yeah.
at some point.
yeah.
I
So
can't.
for me,
Okay, but
a lot of people,
mhm.
I think one of the disadvantage about JJ is because we know he's spectacular, because we know he's a flair player, that
Mhm.
takes off the shine of his leadership capability.
Hmm.
Because it is not easy for you
Mm.
to be picked as part of the club captain of an EPL team. We can say it is so easy. And another point I want to make is leadership styles are different. Leadership styles are different. Some will go all out. You see it in Ademenyo, the way they shout on the pitch, the way they rally the team, the way they pump their fists in the air to ensure their mates do well on the pitch. But others are calm, cool, collected. Fabregas for Arsenal, he wasn't that vocal type.
Hmm.
but he was a captain.
Fabregas of
He was
Arsenal.
influential. Van
Yes.
Persie too was a captain of Arsenal. He was not that type that shouts. He wasn't that type that hits his hands in the air, pushes players, say do this on the pitch. But he was influential. We know of a certain Gallas that came from Chelsea. He got the captain handband. We saw the mockery he made of Arsenal when they drew the match against Birmingham, and he
As
sat on the
usual.
floor, started
Yeah, as
crying.
usual. They
So,
always.
so leadership styles are different, and I want to digress a bit. We all saw the movie. I don't know
Mm.
the sequel, or is it this the season Michael Jordan's story,
Yeah.
the Last Dance. I don't know if you guys saw the sequel. Michael Jordan
Yeah,
was
on Netflix. Yes,
criticized.
yes, yes.
He was criticized based on his leadership skill. People said he was a dictatorship. He was so hands-on that Michael Jordan could fight
It was a
the
bully.
other his
It was.
teammates because he wants to win. He wants to win. Michael Jordan carried the whole Chicago Bulls on his shoulders. And fast forward 10 years later, he was criticized that it was a dictatorship. He was this, he was that. So what else do you want? JJ's leadership style might not be like that of Patrick Vieira. JJ's leadership style might not be that of Roy Keane. JJ's leadership style might not be that of Olise that keeps fighting everybody. But one way or the other, JJ was influential in that period where he was a
But
captain,
wait, Ace,
2002 to 2006.
Ace, Ace, if I may ask you, at this time and age, the way football has gone, do
Yeah.
you still think that you can have a successful captain who do not have who is not aggressive? How many of them do we have, and how much have they achieved? Because it has
Okay,
gone bad that you need a captain who should fight for the team.
Mm-hmm.
And if you have one that is so lame, look at what happened with okay, was it Liverpool and Man U? And Gerrard came in. The match was going. Man U was practically bullying Liverpool players, and then Gerrard was introduced. And he came in and he said, "Okay, let me just give one serious challenge. Let them know that we are here." Then he got a red card as a result. So it has come to the point where captains need to show that aggressiveness, and that aggressiveness is what the rest of the team look for to drive them and push forward to do something on the field. You can't continue to have, yes, you should,
no
some
doubt,
of them are just
no
there,
no
they
no
don't
no, no
fight, they don't.
doubt, no
Yeah,
doubt.
but at this time we need players whose responsibility on the team as the captain is to push the rest of the team. Some of them will go and shout in the face of the referee because they need decisions to be made in their favor.
Well,
No, but I
Regardless
just
of
feel
what.
I just feel sorry, Kunle, I'm so sorry. I just want us
No, no
to
problem.
let me just I've been talking since seems I talk a lot, but I just feel most times this thing there's no hard and fast rule about how a leader should should be or the character traits a leader should buttress. A leader can be calm and things will happen. Results. 21st century definition of leadership is results. A leader can be calm, and so far the results are being generated. That's what matters. So a typical example: a football captain, you necessarily don't have to shout because the responsibility that is behoved on you
mm,
does not necessarily mean you have to go into the pitch and start shouting your lungs out. What about what you're doing on the pitch? What impact are you adding on the pitch? Are you are you putting your effort to make the team like the recent thing that is happening in Arsenal now? Aubameyang. Aubameyang has not been in form this past since last season. We all know his
yeah.
form has dipped, but the manager still kept faith with him. He was still using him, still putting him, starting him. But there are some other factors that has happened behind the scene that the manager has seen. Even up till now, we don't know what Aubameyang did, but the only report we heard was he came late from an authorized trip. So there are so many things that could have happened in the
Maybe he
behind the
slap.
scene.
Maybe he slapped the coach.
Who
I
knows?
mean, yeah.
But there's so many things. There's so many things that could have happened behind the scene that has got Ateta to this level and say, like, F it, I'm not having this anymore. This
Mm,
is the last straw that will break the camel's back. And Aubameyang, you're no more my captain. Do you understand? And the question, and if I'm to just oppose the Aubameyang situation, if Aubameyang, out of the 17 or 18 games that have been played this season, if
yeah.
Aubameyang had scored 15 goals in the EPL, contributing to the 3 points Arsenal are getting, would Ateta strip him of the captain?
Hmm.
I think I'll just stop there for now.
Arsenal.
It's
Arsenal.
possible. It is possible if he is having those disciplinary issues. You see, there are some managers who are, there are some managers who are disciplinarians, and no matter how, like now, one of them is Pep Guardiola. He's a
Roy Keane had
disciplinarian.
disciplinary issues while he was at Manchester United. Ferguson never dropped him. Ferguson never stripped him of the
Um,
captaincy. Roy Keane had
mm,
disciplinary issues, getting red
yes.
carded, spoiling the team's formation. But Ferguson stuck behind him because Ferguson knows what he contributes on the pitch. So captaincy should not
I
just
think
be
Roy Keane. Nah, I think Roy Keane was. I don't know. Maybe Roy Keane was just maybe an exception because I think there's nobody. We've not had it. I don't
nah,
think you can
nah,
have any other person like Roy Keane. Like I
nah.
don't know why, because the truth of this is no. Let me not lie to you. I have asked myself that question as well. I mean, maybe if I forget, but I've asked myself that
Mm.
question a lot. That how on earth did they allow? Because don't forget to this one that you are saying that you said Roy Keane, was it not beef? Was it not fight between him and Ferguson that eventually let him out, where he
Yeah.
now went to
Yeah.
join towards the tail? You understand? So it made me wonder that
Hmm.
how did Ferguson keep up? Because if you know the volume of things Roy King did, I mean, Roy King has injured the depth at which Roy King has injured players. There was a guy who he broke a guy's leg. He ended a guy's career. One guy in Coventry, like his leg. I'm not
Yeah, I
joking.
think I heard
They
about
saw
that. Yeah.
in 1996, as in the horrific, his bone came out of his. As in it actually, I think it was that graphic and horrific. But Roy
Hmm.
King was still playing, and and he went on, and he's allowed to be on TV. I don't know why. Maybe there's some politics where I don't know, but I think Roy King was just is just an exceptional this thing. But what I would say though is that I didn't like how it ended for Okocha because, like I said, that 2005-6 period, and then maybe it was because Okocha had already reached the point where like he was at the most famous in his life, and these Nigerian players, once it gets to this
Yeah.
point where
Yeah. What?
there is so much fame and attention on them, they begin to misbehave. I mean, we saw it with so many players. We saw it with, like we said, we saw it with Ayegbeni, we saw it with Martins, we saw it. I think even Kanu himself, even at some point and all. And I'm sorry, but that is not good, you see. And that is why I respect people like Messi, Ronaldo. These guys have all the money, all the fame, all the attention, and this, but not once have you seen them disrespect the call up to the national teams because they know what is at stake. They want to make a statement. They want to. Another person I respect about this is also this guy. What's his name? Mohamed Salah. Mohamed Salah does not
Yeah.
joke with him. He doesn't joke with Egypt. Even with the way they put pressure on him, Egypt wants him to play and all of this.
Liverpool.
Salah is ready to play for Egypt with all his heart, with all his mind. Sadio Mane is another person. And I think maybe that is one, I don't know, but I like them for that reason. And I feel that and that was why I said that Vincent Enyama never for once had this a call up. Me, I don't know, maybe because Vicente Yama was playing in a lower, maybe in a lesser, but I want to believe, but he was like a star in Israel regardless. And I think Israel does produce some very good players. I mean, it was from there we had players like Ben Haim that came for, and Ben Ayun, I can't remember the guy's name or something. So, so I'm just not happy with how it ended for JJ. I wish it could have been better. Maybe if it ended well for him, um, maybe I would have picked him as my own captain, but I just didn't like how it ended for
All
It
right.
was so
Thank
good they named him twice. JJ, greatest captain.
him.
Oh wow, wow, wow! What a good debate we have today. I mean, thank you, Ahis, for coming. This is your first time into our show.
Thank you, sir.
Aji, I really
Hey,
appreciate your coming, and Kunle, you're fantastic.
oh,
We
thank
miss
you, my boss. I
Jide the
appreciate it.
Great. Um,
Honestly, I would really have
you
loved him to
like,
come along
yeah,
today. Honestly,
yeah. So, thank you once again. What else do you want to say? I mean, for final note, is there anything you want to say? I mean, joining us for the first time. What do you feel about our content? I mean, about our channel. Is there anything you want to say?
Yeah, football. Like I'm into this as well. My big up to my guys in Footy Wit. Our
Fantastic.
platform is called Footy Wit. You can check us out
okay.
on YouTube as well. Football content generation in
Mhm.
football is you can never go. What's the word? You can never find it difficult to generate content in football because there will
Football.
always be something to talk about. There will always
Absolutely.
be, as at tomorrow, there is a news that is waiting for us. Just right now, today, we heard Everton and Burnley had been postponed. That's the news to
Mhm.
talk about.
That's the
So
news.
there's
Yeah.
always something
Mhm.
to talk about in football. But the thing there is, like we that were just starting things like this, having a channel like this where you bring great football minds to come and talk. We hope the content that we're creating
Yeah.
gets to the space where we'll get appreciated
Yeah.
and we will see the
Absolutely.
traction that we want
That needs.
because the,
Yes.
the, the
Yes.
reason the reason we're doing this is one, I know it's passion. If it's not passion, we would not be doing this. And secondly, the love for the game is because of the love for the game we have for football. That's why we're doing this as well. But I would just like to encourage everybody, keep doing what we are doing best. Keep let's just keep doing what we're doing because at the
Right.
end of it all, it's just a way of taking out stress. Like this
Yeah.
past 60 minutes we've been talking football is a way of taking out stress, being relieved one way or the other, and also having fun as well, getting to meet new people. Like today I'm meeting Chief Ahmed for the very first time,
Mm.
and I'm
He's a
meeting Chief
Liverpool
Kule
fan.
as
Ahmed
well.
is a Liverpool fan. Be
Yeah, yeah,
careful of
yeah.
him.
So
Be careful.
so I hope we'll be able to do more of this
Yeah.
and do more of this together. And I
Yeah.
hope after the two legs of the Carabao Cup against Liverpool, Arsenal will remain victorious.
Aji, over to you on this final note. What do you
Yeah. Yes, yes, yes.
Arsenal
He's
people? They can tell
thank
you
you
they
for
will win
joining
the
us
league.
today,
I don't
and
know. Oh
Mm.
my
I can
god.
say that I learned so much from you. This discussion, actually, yeah, yeah, it's so enlightening. And thank you so much for joining. And as usual, Kunle, thank you, bro. Thank you for giving him back. You can't just come and bully us and say Okocha is better than the rest of them. No, we will not agree.
Absolutely, we will not
So
grill.
thank you very much. Thank you, the coordinator, Yemi. Thank you. Take
Yeah,
it from me.
thank you. All right. Ois, we'll see you behind the scene. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you. Aji, behind the corner. We'll see you behind the curtain. Thank you so much. I appreciate. And Kunle, can you hear me?
Yes, boss.
Yeah, thank you so much for coming. I really appreciate
Oh,
that. It's a
oh,
fantastic debate. It's
oh,
beautiful. I mean, I
oh,
enjoyed every moment.
oh. I
He's
enjoyed myself. Yeah. No, I like. I think he shares. I think he shares similarities with Sajide.
so yeah, they are both
I saw.
Arsenal fan. They're both Arsenal fan. So
No, 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 no,
you
no
see
wonder.
now.
Because I know his disposition, he was reminding, it was like as if he was representing him in today's show, really. Honestly.
All right, Kule. Thank you
Thanks so
so
much,
much.
boss. I
We'll
appreciate it.
still
Thank you
hang
so.
in there. I mean,
Of
we'll still
course, of course,
see each other at the end of the show. All
of
right, Kule.
course.
Thank
All
you so
right.
much. All right,
Thank
see
you so
you.
much, boss. All
All
right.
right. Thank you, viewers. It has been a very fantastic moment with me, with all the co-hosts. He's coming in for the first time. I really enjoyed him. Every one of them are G. And we want to shout out to Jide the Great as well too. He couldn't make it to the debate. Thank you, every one of us has subscribed. this a community we are trying to build up on this platform. So, we want to talk about the African players that have done so well, the one they're doing very well at the moment. Please, if you're watching this for the first time, YouTube channel is called Intercontinental Sport TV. My name is Yemi Ilori, and there's so many content we'll still be looking at as time goes on. This is just the beginning. We're still going to look at some content in regards to AFCON 2021, that's Cameroon. Also, there's so many review on Monday, so you could join us, and some we'll be doing watch along on EPL matches. That the very important matches. Also, be doing watch along. Thank you, viewers. I want to quickly do a shout out to some people that really done so well at the back of this scene. There's this guy called Derek. I want to shout out to him. He's a fantastic guy. He's from Cameroon. We all see him as time goes on. I also talk about Ben, as well as in Greece. He's a footballer. I want to shout out to him. Also, every other people that have contributed to this channel to be or to this moment, I thank you so much. Until next again, we're going to I'm going to sign out from here. Thank you, every one of us. Please subscribe, share the link, share to every one of us, African people, wherever they are in the world. Share it to them. This is a community where you bring your opinion, I bring my opinion, then we'll slug it out. Thank you so much for having me. Bye once again.